Get ready for The Splash Live, Greater West Bloomfield's dedicated update show. Events, businesses, and people. Anything and anyone causing a ripple in the community. And now, let's dive in to The Splash Live.
Good morning and welcome to The Splash Live. Dave Scott with you. Great to be here on this beautiful Wednesday here in West Bloomfield. It is November 9th, the day after Election Day. Those of us that are into politics or drinking a little coffee, don't let this mug freak you out that I'm like getting ready for a snowstorm or something to come. Let me take a sip. Oh, yeah. Did you get any sleep last night? I don't know about you, but I never get any sleep as those election results keep pouring in, and they were pouring in late last night. But what an election day we had. You've heard from the national pundits. Tyler and I are going to break down, no pundit activity here, but we're going to break down what happened here in West Bloomfield and the Greater West Bloomfield area for you to make sure that you're up to date on all of our local races and a lot of really very interesting activity last night. We'll have all that for you this morning here on The Splash. Overall, though, a really, I think, generally very successful election day from a structural standpoint, depending on who you are and where you sit on which side of the aisle. Maybe you're happy with the results, maybe not. But that's not for us to judge here on this show. We'll let everybody else do that. But we have a lot of information to share with you. And the one thing I can tell you, and we'll get into this in a minute, that in the state of Michigan, we had a ton of people vote. So more on that coming up here in just a couple of minutes. Thank you for joining us on the Splash Live. We're here every Monday through Friday at 9:30. It's part of an hour and a half of live local programming. I'm here at 9:30. Tyler Kieft will be in here this morning at 10 o'clock, and he's actually going to sneak in a little early and help us dissect these election results. But thank you for joining us here on Comcast Channel 15, one of the ways, the traditional way to watch Civic Center TV. If you're an AT&T subscriber, you can flip over to Channel 99. There's a menu system there where you can select Civic Center TV by picking your favorite local community, West Bloomfield, Sylvan Lake, on and on. You can go join us on the web. A lot of people love to watch us there, and you'll be able to see us in full high definition at civiccentertv.com, or go to your favorite social media outlet, whether it be Facebook or YouTube. We're streaming there live this morning, and we are every single Monday through Friday, making it easy for you to go to Facebook and search West Bloomfield Civic Center TV, The Splash Live, and we will pop up. Same thing over on the YouTube side. Very, very easy to find us. One way a lot of people tune in on a busy Wednesday morning on the way to work is in the car. And for those of you tuning in this morning on 89.3 Lakes FM, thank you very much for joining us as we are live this morning and bringing you, don't go away, don't drive too far, because we've got a lot of really important election information for you this morning right here on all of our outlets. So weather-wise, going to be another incredibly nice day today. We will have some clouds, already up to 41 degrees, pretty good for this time of year. And what's great is we're going to get all the way up to 61 degrees. Cooling off to 47 tonight. Tomorrow, you can see the sunshine on the screen. Going to be another great day, almost to 70. Still more time to get that yard work out or go for a walk on one of our great trails in our park system here in West Bloomfield. Not too bad Friday, and it really shouldn't be too bad over the weekend. At temperatures in the 60s, if we're in the 60s in early November, I'll tell you what, that's a pretty good thing. So get out and enjoy the weather while it lasts. It won't be here. I promise you, it won't be here forever. So taking a look at the big news of the day, clearly the election from yesterday, big news. And if you stayed up late and watched all the national coverage, you know that all of the races are not yet decided nationally. But we have seen what's going on, and by watching all the national information, you know that it wasn't quite the Republican wave that many people expected. But as you go in there, no matter who you are, a Republican, an independent, a Democrat, there's going to be something in there that will make you happy, and there may be some other things in there that have you not so happy. But that's just the way it is on Election Day. All in all, it looks like the elections ran pretty smooth. Now, when we take a look at the elections here close to home, we got to be so proud of people here in the state of Michigan and in Oakland County, and then all the local clerks like our own Debbie Binder running a very successful election yesterday. And the results for Oakland County are in, and our local municipality, 100% in. And as you take a look around the country and look at states like Arizona and California and New York, we may be it may be several days before we have that information. I don't know about you, but that's a little bit frustrating. So I just want to take an opportunity and say bravo, congratulations to our clerks on the county level, on the local level, and on the state level for getting all this put together. We have some really good procedures here, really good people, and I don't know how you felt yesterday, but when I went to vote, and had a chance to interact with all the election workers, it was just great to see these incredible, hardworking people out there. And, you know, they were also nice. They would say thank you for voting, and they were really thrilled to be a part of it. With all this discussion in our country about the challenges with voting and the whole electoral system and our democracy, I don't know about you, but for this guy, it seemed to work pretty well yesterday, and that was very impressive. Again, Tyler Kieft will be here in a couple of minutes, and we will run down all of the results that you may not have seen yet, and the ultra local, we like to call them hyper local results. We'll take a look at what happened in the state of Michigan. We'll look at our ballot proposals. We'll look at our school board elections, and all of the results from right here in our own local area. So stand by. Tyler will be here in a couple of minutes, and we'll get to that in just a couple of minutes. I want to say thank you to the fine and hardworking people at the West Bloomfield Parks and Recreation Department and the others who worked so hard yesterday to put on our Veterans Day event, the Heroes Breakfast. It happened on Election Day, and it was a beautiful event. If you didn't get a chance to get out to the new West Bloomfield Middle School yesterday and join us in person, I urge you to take some time and watch our on-demand area on Civic Center TV, or watch the broadcasts as they run over the next couple of days. And I can guarantee you on Friday, on Veterans Day, we'll be running that program all day long to give you an opportunity to see it. But a couple of things: great participation, wonderful speakers, beautiful musical entertainment, West Bloomfield Parks, the library, a lot of our municipal employees, and just a bunch of other people, and some amazing work by sponsors in our area. Did a really great job. We got a little video clip here of Kelly Heyer yesterday. We can put that on the screen, guys. Doing a great job at the podium there. And it was a great event. So I hope that you take an opportunity, tune in and watch it. It was just a beautiful day. And what made it even more spectacular yesterday is it was in our beautiful, brand new West Bloomfield Middle School auditorium, which is a spectacular, kind of get a longer shot of it right now. The guys can take to it real quick. A spectacular facility. I mean, look how amazing that facility is. And if you watch the broadcast, you'll have an opportunity to see more of that. Again, the real moment of the day yesterday, though, was honoring our heroes, our veterans, and with Veterans Day coming up on Friday, the opportunity to feed many of them, have breakfast, have some dialogue, have some conversation. It was an absolutely beautiful day. A couple community notes, and then we're going to take a break and get on to the election information. If you remember, the West Bloomfield class of 22, you're going to be, that's a typo. The West Bloomfield class of '02, forgive me, you are having your 20-year reunion is coming up. It's going to be at On the Dunes in Commerce Township on November 26th. So we'll keep reminding you of that. Put that on your calendar so you can get together and meet some of your old classmates. I don't know about you, but I always enjoy going to the reunions, and it's good to see our teachers, the other students, and see how people have progressed and moved on in their lives. Also, don't forget that, of course, Friday is Veterans Day. We held our big event, of course, on Election Day yesterday with the Heroes Breakfast. But in our neighboring communities, a lot of other things going on. Just want to note on Veterans Day and Friday in Farmington Hills, you can go to the Caustic Activities Center on 11 Mile Road in Farmington Hills. It's at 28600. They've got a Veterans Day event going on Friday from 10 until noon if you have the day off. If you want to take your kids to an event, there's one, and there'll be many Veterans Day activities going on all across the greater Detroit area and right here in Oakland County, West Bloomfield, Kegel Harbor, Sylvan Lake, and Orchard Lake. So make sure you take an opportunity to honor our veterans this week on Veterans Day. All right, well, I'm going to take a quick break. We'll be back in a minute. Tyler Kieft will check in, and we're going to go through the nitty gritty, take a look at the election results from last night, and just have some brief observations for you. Good morning. Thank you for joining us. You are watching The Splash Live, and we will be right back.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live.
In the face of COVID-19, staying healthy is important. And now the same is true as we face the flu. Influenza has the potential to infect millions, putting lives and the healthcare system at risk. Fortunately, it's easy to protect yourself. The flu vaccine is safe and effective, and with COVID-19 still spreading, it's essential. To see how you can hit this virus head-on, visit michigan.gov/flu. Can I ask you a question? Why do you want to get the COVID-19 vaccine?
I don't like getting sick. The virus will die. It will be easy to not catch it. Keep my family safe and keep playing soccer. Because I love being vaccinated.
What's your hope for everyone?
I hope everybody gets the vaccine to keep safe and strong. Be like happy, having fun everywhere. Everyone stay safe and hope you get the vaccine.
Take a look back in time and recollect local history at this month's Sylvan Story presentation. Learn about Sylvan Lake's illustrious past from the lovely Helen Jane Peters as she discusses everything she can about Whitfield School's teacher and principal, Mr. Glenn Husted, and the letters he'd write to soldiers fighting in World War II. Sylvan Story. Drop by at 6:30 p.m. Thursday, November 10th at the Sylvan Lake Community Center. And now, back to The Splash, live.
Oh, good morning. Welcome back to The Splash Live. Dave Scott in our West Bloomfield Splash Live studios. Awful good to have you with us this morning. Tyler Kieft will be here in a couple of minutes, or we'll catch up with him at 10 o'clock on the MegaCast. Let's take a look, though, at what happened here in the state of Michigan in the local elections. You may have been fixated so much on the U.S. House and the U.S. Senate and some of the national races that you haven't gotten caught up yet on what's been happening here locally. So I'll put my glasses on, which I need as an older guy, and let's start, first of all, and take a look at the governor's race. And Governor Gretchen Whitmer came up with a really big victory. She definitely had a steep challenge from Tudor Dixon. But, here's the other number that I really like. In addition to the 378,000 votes she received statewide, and that is, by the way, with 97% of the precincts reporting. And first of all, that's pretty cool that we have most of Michigan already all worked out and have all the votes in. Statewide, we have over, or at least here in the county, voting in the state election, we have over 1 million registered voters. And here in Oakland County alone, 600,000 people voted yesterday. 625,265 out of our 1,044,000 people here in Oakland County. So that is remarkable in and of itself. At the top of the ticket, though, the Democrat wins here in the state of Michigan, 4 more years of Governor Gretchen Whitmer. Secretary of State, the very popular and nationally recognized Jocelyn Benson, also comes up with a victory and 384,000 votes statewide, with, again, almost all of the votes in. Taking a look at Congress, our district in U.S. Congress is the 11th district that represents our area, and Hallie Stevens with a big win by a large margin over Mark Ambrose, 224,000 votes to 141,000 votes, and Hallie Stevens continues her representation in the 11th district, and certainly somebody that is nationally recognized and certainly gets a lot of attention from the national media. Shifting now to the pure Michigan races, let's take a look at our state Senate seat. We are in the 13th district here in our Greater West Bloomfield area, and winning the 13th district seat is Rosemary Byer with 56,000 votes. In the state house, we have 2 state house seats, depending on where you live in our service area. Most of us are in the 20th district, and winning the 20th district is Noah Arbit. There you see a picture of him in the 20th seat. And then in the 53rd district, which I think is some of Sylvan Lake and generally up into the Pontiac area. It's hard because they keep redistricting to keep all these districts straight in my mind. But Brenda Carter, who we know very well, 18,000 votes, almost a 2-to-1 margin. So as we take a look at these seats so far, that is a pretty strong sweep up to that point by the Democrats in the major statewide races. Take a look at the proposals here in the state of Michigan. All of them are passed. First of all, the proposal 1 passed significantly, and I don't know if you can read all the fine print there, but proposal 1 was term limits and changing some of the notification of our state elected officials, and that passed by a wide margin, 420,000 to 170 votes. Proposal 2, to change some of the election rights here in the state of Michigan, also passed by a very wide margin. But the biggest proposal, I think, that all of us were watching closely and the nation was watching here in Michigan and in other states was Proposal 3, and that was adding the right to abortion to our state constitution. And that passed significantly as well, 390,000 votes to 220,000. You've probably seen a lot of these things in the news and the free press today, but just want to reaffirm for you. Now, let's get super local here and take a look at our county commission race in the 10th district. We have 2 districts here in the county that we vote for here in our viewing area. Kristen Nelson is the victor in the 10th district. She is a Democrat. And in the 11th district, Marcia Gershenson, by a little under a 2-to-1 margin, wins there in the 11th district. There was also a transportation millage yesterday to increase public transit here in our Oakland County area. That certainly impacts us in West Bloomfield and all of the county. And that passed by a pretty significant margin as well, 332,410 votes to some 200,000 votes, 248,000 votes. So again, that one passes yesterday. Taking a look at the Keego Harbor City Council, we elected Teresa Szymanski is been elected to the Keego Harbor City Council by a significant margin yesterday. Also in Keego Harbor, there are a couple of ballot proposals. We'll get to the police proposal in a minute, but this is the proposal on medical marijuana. And this isn't going to bring, marijuana shops to Keego, but it is going to bring medical marijuana dispensaries to Keego Harbor, if I've got all that right. And that passed yesterday. Actually, forgive me, I just want to make sure I've got this right. Forgive me. This is the police millage I am looking at right now, and I've got you on the screen. So can't really read the fine print there, guys, but I can tell you this. The medical marijuana passed, and the police millage did fall by a very, very small margin. The police millage, no, 581 to 557, yes. And we'll get the numbers on the medical marijuana amendment coming up here in a couple of minutes. So taking a look at and sorry about the confusion, but my screen with all the information updated since I was preparing this for you today. Orchard Lake City Council, Norm Finkelstein and Kevin Kroger are elected to continue in the Orchard Lake Village Council. And in Sylvan Lake, we should have the information there. Feather Buchanan, the victor, along with 2 other candidates, Mike Zubriski and then Ben Clark, all succeeding in Sylvan Lake. School board in Bloomfield Hills, there were 4 positions available for the school board. And I don't believe we have the images here, but Tariq Falah was the number 1 vote getter, followed by Megan Hill, Paul Collin, and Carolyn Noble, I believe. So congratulations to those folks. Again, all of this is on the Oakland County website. Over in the Walled Lake School Board election, there were 3 that we were voting in there in Walled Lake, and the number 1 vote getter there is Christy Trice. Is Shauna Levin, followed by Christy Trice, and then Christopher Titus. So congratulations to all of them. Walled Lake also had a sinking fund tax renewal, and the voters in Walled Lake are very supportive of the schools, and they passed that yesterday, 30,000 to 18,000 votes. I know a lot of you are very interested in what happened in the West Bloomfield School Board. And guys, you can put that up on the screen. Moving forward in the West Bloomfield School Board, Ashley Davis. And then we have another candidate who successfully won a seat last night, and that is Art Holdsworth. Again, all the details and all of the final numbers for all of these races on the website for Oakland County. And you can find that by going to our Civic Center TV website. So there's a summary, the best of my ability this morning, of the races here in our local area. Details again, if you want to see all the numbers and all the nitty gritty, you can go to civiccentertv.com. There's a link right at the top of the homepage, and we'll have all of that information for you. I'm going to, if he's here, let's just bring him in. So joining us now is our own Tyler Kieft, who's been working very hard on all of this the past couple of days. Tyler, good morning, and I know you're getting ready for the MegaCast, but good opportunity to pop in and chat election for a couple of minutes. Good morning.
Yeah, I've transitioned the desk over here in the MegaCast studio from being a wooden desk to a desk that's basically made of paper. I got nothing but articles here. For the first segment, we're going to have plenty of candidates and winners from these races on the program today as well. But yeah, a very interesting election all across town here in Greater West Bloomfield as well, where there are many very close races all across the board in the city council and on the West Bloomfield School Board as well.
Well, it was, but you know, the thing we talked about earlier is the election ran very effectively. All the votes are turned in here in Oakland County and in our West Bloomfield, Keagle Harbor, Sylvan Lake, Orchard Lake area. Our clerks did an amazing job. And, you know, when you look at it nationally, you look at some of these states that take days to get the results in, well, somehow we can figure out how to do it pretty effectively right here in West Bloomfield. Maybe they should give us a phone call and we can help get some of these other races run a little bit more effectively. But a good election, huge turnout as we witnessed yesterday and saw by the numbers here in Oakland County. And then obviously a lot of very impactful races. Let's go back and take a look at the 2 Keagle proposals because I tripped over that a little bit because my computer updated. First of all, Tyler, let's take a look and please review for us the police proposal in Keagle Harbor.
Yeah, so that was a millage that was a charter amendment for a millage for the Keagle Harbor Police Department. There, if you go, you can actually read the full amendment in its entirety on Keagle Harbor's website and their sample ballot to get all the information that you really need to know about that specific proposal. It was simply just a police millage. They have tried this in some other ways before. This time they were adding it into the actual city charter. And it was, of course, voted in the negative by the city by a vote of 637 to 527. So 111 votes separating the yeses and the nos in that first charter amendment in the city of Keagle Harbor. It's something we've seen in the past with some of their other elections, particularly city council in the last election between Ashley Atisha and Dave Emmerling.
Actually, there's numbers flying all over the place. You have to forgive Tyler and I, where there's a lot going on here this morning. I have a slightly different set of numbers. I have 581 no, 557 to the affirmative. Either way, that amendment falls. The other amendment that did pass was
my apologies.
No, that's quite all right.
I flipped the numbers between the police millage and the other charter, which was a yes vote. In this case, the police millage was a no, and the other charter was a yes.
All right. So it's just a little confusing the way this is here on the Oakland County website. So what I have, again, not getting in a debate with you on the air, but let's just make sure we have this accurate.
Yes.
What I show here on the Oakland County website is that the police millage has failed, 557 yes, 581 no. And the medical marijuana proposal did go to the affirmative, and it passed 637 to 527. So just want to get that clarity. At least that's, again, and I've learned doing football games never to dispute anything Tyler ever says. So I might be wrong here, but that's just the way that I'm
No,
reading
that is
it.
correct.
Okay, that's the way I'm reading it off the Oakland County website. I want to make sure that everybody gets that correctly. The medical marijuana proposal is interesting because we're not suggesting in Kegel Harbor that we do what is already going on in a lot of other communities aggressively, like Ferndale and other places where we got a quote unquote pot shop on every corner. But this is the distribution publicly of medical marijuana only, not recreational, but medical marijuana. So Kegel is just dipping its toe in the water. And the people in the community, by a slim margin, seem to get behind that idea as we slowly make progress with bringing marijuana dispensaries, in this case, medical only, to Kegel Harbor.
Yeah, this was a case where the people of the state of Michigan, of course, voted in the affirmative in past elections to legalize medical marijuana in the state of Michigan and eventually recreational marijuana. However, with the medical marijuana election vote in the yes favor, it did have provisions in there for certain municipalities to be able to opt out. And Kegel Harbor, their city council, their planning commission previously had suggested, and then the city council affirmatively bowed out of medical marijuana in the city. This, of course, is a charter amendment to the city charter, and therefore surpasses or supersedes the city council and puts that directly into the city charter. It allows for medical marijuana facilities in the city, and it also establishes a city department of medical marijuana that's responsible for overseeing local regulatory structure such as facilities.
Yeah, and this is not uncommon. I mean, with the state law allowing marijuana, medical and recreational marijuana to be available, the local communities have to also give it the thumbs up. Kegel gives it the thumbs up now for medical only. And you take a look around our area, I mentioned, there are a lot of communities where on every corner you're seeing an awful lot of marijuana facilities. Good, bad, and different. I'm not offering an opinion one way or the other on that. But in our area, for the most part, we don't have many of those. Walled Lake, yes. West Bloomfield, no. Orchard Lake, no. Sylvan Lake, I believe, no, up to this point. And now, of our 4 communities that we service directly, Kegel Harbor, the first one to dip their toe in the water, and doing it pretty cautiously, and even still, Tyler, a very narrow margin on that approval yesterday. Very quickly, we got about 1 minute left. Just a quick look at the West Bloomfield School Board election. We brought in 2 new school board members. We elected 2 school board members. Ashley Davis getting more votes than anyone else. And I think you have the other candidate.
W.M. Art Holdsworth was the other that was elected to the school board. There were several candidates that were on the final ballot, and also there was a qualified write-in campaign from incumbent school board member Ken Ferguson, who did not initially run on the ballot for school board due to him running in the primary for the Michigan House 20th District. That was also up for that position. Only 2 were elected.
All right. So as Tyler and I now know, it isn't easy for those crews on Fox and MSNBC and all the networks, while all these numbers are flying around, to get all of this, pulled it all together. But I hope you found that helpful and interesting. We'll continue to talk to the candidates today and others. And, just as we wrap up here, Tyler, it was a great day yesterday with the Heroes Breakfast and then the election day, and it just seemed to go really very smooth. So we got to go. Tyler will be here in a couple of minutes with the MegaCast. Dave Scott saying so long. Have a great Wednesday, and we'll see you tomorrow morning at 9:30.